Hello everyone, welcome to EduTap and also welcome to another government scheme session. The scheme that we are discussing today, it is quite short but yet very important from the examination point of view. And today we are going to understand about Prime Minister Gram Sadak Yojana. So before starting, let's just understand what the full form of it means in English for better understanding. So see, Pradhan Mantri is a prime minister, that is easy to understand. Then means gram. Gram means a village. And then we come to say Sadak. Sadak is your road and Yojana is your scheme. So this particular scheme, it talks about constructing the roads in the villages, and then you can say connecting one village to the mainstream society. And this is what the basic aim of this particular scheme is. And see, when a lot of work is being done under this, so it's always on news, be it the prime minister, he has launched a new project and things like that, and that is why you should need to have a basic understanding of this. So we'll start with the basics. See, the launch year of this scheme, it is 2000. So it was launched way back in 2000 and it was launched in various phases. Currently phase 3 is going on, and we are going to understand briefly about phase 1, phase 2 and phase 3 as well. But before that, there are few more important things that we need to understand. So after understanding about the launch year, the next thing that you need to remember is it falls under which ministry. Okay, so although we are talking about constructing roads, but it does not fall under the Ministry of Roadways, it falls under the Ministry of Rural Development. How to remember this? Because here we are constructing the roads at the village level, that is why the ministry is Rural Development. And here, see, this particular program or the scheme, it has also been supported by the organization World Bank, which has invested rupees 2.1 dollar. If you look at their website, so they the World Bank website, they have mentioned that they have invested, they have not contributed, but yes, they have used the word invested 2.1 billion dollar in this particular program. Now talking about the aim, so we have a basic idea it because we have understood the full form of it. So see, its aim is to provide good all-weather road connectivity. What does it mean? That because see, usually what happens, you have make roads, but the topography of a place can be like such. For example, if we take of a hilly region, it can happen that during monsoon season, this landslide can occur, and because of that, the road that was connected, that's being destroyed. So that is why here we are talking about all-weather road, creating roads as such that they do not have to be repaired time and again. So that is why here we're talking about good all-weather road connectivity to unconnected with villages, to such villages till where the roads have not reached yet. So here, will all the villages be included? So no, there is some certain criteria on depending on the habitation that particular village has. So according for that, if we talk about in plains region, so the eligible unconnected habitation means the people living there should be 500 and above. So if there are people that are living in the village in plains are 500 and above, they will be eligible under this particular scheme. Similarly, for the hilly regions and the desert areas, the number has been reduced to 250 and above, because see, in hilly regions, in such areas, the habitation, it is quite less, number of people, they are less, and that is why for the hills and desert, the number has been kept to 250 and above, and for the plains it has been kept 500 and above. And see here the total budget, if we talk about, so here for the year 2022-23, because currently this financial year is going on, and that is why we are focusing on this 20,000 crore that is being allocated to this scheme for this year. We are going to remember that because this becomes important from the examination point of view. Now let's understand briefly about phase 1 and phase 2, and then we'll look at phase 3 and some of the important characteristics. So when we talk about phase 1, so this scheme we have already understood was launched in 2000, and see, when this scheme was launched, at that time it was a center sector scheme. What does it mean? That this scheme was 100% funded by the central government, but later on when phase 2 started, at that time it was switched from the center sector scheme to center sponsored scheme. And here also there is one catch, that initially the division was 75 and 25 for the normal states, but after that it was switched to 60-40. So we need not to remember this because this has been now switched to 60-40, right? So this is what we need to remember. And usually for most of the sponsored scheme, center sponsored scheme, this is the ratio that goes on for the normal states and the center, between the states and center. And for northeast we know it is 90:10 ratio, right? And because in phase 2 it switched to center sponsored, so can you guess that in phase 3 what it would be? Would it be center sector or center sponsored? So you're thinking it correct, it is center sponsored only. Okay, and there are some other objectives that have been mentioned for every phase. There were new objectives that were set up, and in accordance to that the program was run. So objective for phase 1, that is to provide single all weather road connectivity to eligible unconnected connected habitation, that we have looked at. For plains it is 500 and above, and for the hills and desert it is 250 and above, right? And then another objective under phase 1 was upgradation of existing rural roads which were there, okay, including 40% renewal by the state. So at that time, because in phase 1 it was a center sector scheme, so that is where there it was said that if there is some existing road that needs to be reconstructed, so in that 40% will be contributed by state government, okay, in order to ensure the full farm to market connectivity. And in phase 2 if we talk about, so they have set a target of 50,000 kilometer length under PM is your Pradhan Mantri Gram Sadak Yojana phase 2. Okay, so for every phase there was an objective. Now if we talk about phase 3, so here it first of all it started in the year 2019-20 financial year, and till now it's still 24-25. Okay, and it talks about what? Consolidation of through routes. Now what are these through routes? So these are the connective roads. For example, if one road is coming from here, one road is coming for here, and now they are connected here somewhere. 4 roads they are coming, they're connected here, and then they are heading towards this particular road that you are looking at, from where I'm creating the arrow. So this is a through route where the routes they are connected. Okay, so here now we first of all we were talking about the single road, right? In previous one, if you look at in phase 1 we were talking about the single all weather road, but now we have started in phase 3, we have also started talking about the through routes and major rural links. So we are basically now what we are doing, now we are linking all the roads. Okay, and why we are doing so? Because we want whatever the facilities that can be or that should be present in the village, that can be provided to them. For example, this link that would help the habitation to connect the Grameen agriculture markets which they have, and also there would be better connectivity for higher schools, secondary schools, and as well as hospitals. So that is why now in phase 3 we are talking about through routes and linking of roads for the better reach of the facilities to the villagers. Another apart from that, there are some certain other aims also. It talks about construction of bridges up to 150 in plain areas. So now in phase 3 we are talking about bridge also for the connectivity. Basically Gram Sadak Yojana, it all talks about connectivity, connecting the habitations. Okay, so here along with the roads that are under the objective of the Gram Sadak Yojana, apart from that, bridges will also be made in plain area, that would be up to 150 meter, but in Himalayan and northeast region that would be 200 meter. But because see why? Because see in hilly areas the connectivity, in plains it is quite straight, but in hilly areas there is it takes longer time for covering a certain distance. Okay, because of the nature of the topography, it is not as plain and simple as that you can find in the plain region, and that is why here the connectivity has been set to be 200 meter. Apart from that, target is to consolidate 1,25,000 kilometer of roads. We are talking about consolidating. We are talking about linking of 1,25,000 kilometer of roads, and we have estimated a cost of rupees 80,250 crore over the next 5 years. This thing you need to understand here. We are estimating the overall cost that can be utilized for the work under phase 3, but in the previous slide that we have studied, the budget that was for this financial year only. Okay, so I hope you understand the difference. So now we have looked at all the 3 phases briefly. Now let's come to some common key features. So however, this scheme, it falls under the rural development ministry, but still it will be managed not by rural ministry, but that would be managed by your National Rural Roads Development Agency. So this agency, which is your National Rural Road Development Agency, that will manage this Gram Sadak Yojana, and it will be headed by Director General. Apart from that, because we are talking about linking the villages, unconnected villages, and we are talking about habitation, this we need to understand here. The unit of program is habitation, not a revenue village or a panchayat. It's not necessary that panchayat should be there and that would act as a unit for the government to connect the road. Here we are talking about habitation. What is a habitation? So a group of people, they are living together, permanent there, the population that existing there. And here we have a certain number for both plain and the hilly region and desert region, right? So this is known as habitation, and that will act as a unit for the program, and it would not be panchayat as can be assumed by many. Apart from that, the Gram Sadak Yojana does not permit repairs to black topped or cement roads. Okay, so here we're not talking about the repairs of any cement road that existed before, even if the surface condition is bad, because currently we are focusing on more connections. However, we have studied in phase 1, there were some of the work that were done on the Kacha road that existed before, but currently this Gram Sadak Yojana, it does not permit any repair if there is a cemented roads that were made before and that got destructed by any reasons. Okay, so these were the key features. And here one more thing, there is one app, that is your Meri Sadak app. Okay, and this particular app, it was made by the government, was launched in 2015, and this was made specifically for the grievance of the redressal. What does it mean? That any citizen who is living in a Grameen area, in a village area, they can register a complaint that is regarding to the pace of work. If the pace of work is slower, if the quality of work is not good, if there is some land dispute, for example, a road has been made in a particular area, but citizen says that it is his land and they are making road on his land. So all these grievance, they can actually they can readdress them through this app, which is Meri Sadak app. And this complaints, they are handled by the state quality coordinator. So there is a specific agency also for the quality check at state level also, and similar we have at national level also, that would be national quality coordinator. So this state quality coordinator, they would keep on checking these work on the daily basis or frequently, but the national quality coordinator, they can at any random moment at any area, they can go for a check. Okay, so these are the coordinators or the organization agencies that have been made for the quality check of the nodal department of the state. Okay, so the complaint, they will be handled by these only state quality coordinators. Okay, so as I said, this was a very short video yet very important scheme from the examination point of view, and I hope this session, it was fruitful for you all. So if you're new to our channel, kindly subscribe to it, and to get the PDF of this lecture and all the lectures we provide on YouTube, kindly join our Telegram channel. So that is all in this particular video. If you have any doubt, any query, you can always write to us, and if you want me to cover any scheme, the suggestions, they are always welcome. So thank you everyone. We'll meet again in another video of government schemes. Thank you.